CNN covering Epstein conspiracy now.
About Epstein.
Nothing about Epstein. I'm not going to talk about Epstein.
So while some right-wing media outlets are moving on, these conspiracy theories about elites abusing kids are still swirling online and on the air.
People like me will not stop talking about this. If we do not stand up for the children of this country, we have nothing.
But this is why conspiracy theories fester. The government says there is no evidence of a so-called client list. This means listeners have been swallowing lies for a long time.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Commentators like Glenn Beck say they want and need some sort of closure.
That's not true. He literally demanded to ask the one Trump supporter that called in that was demanding the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, what would it take for you to shut the fuck up? He just straight up said that.
And fall in line or continue to fight for answers. That is the rift on the right, one that even President Trump can't easily fix.
Oh, here's the Glenn Beck video. We have to watch this. This is so funny.
We go to
Travis from South Dakota calls into Glenn Beck, and you have to see like how Glenn Beck reacts to this because it is so instructive on how these guys operate.
Travis in South Dakota. Hello, Travis.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, Jason. I tell you what, guys, I feel really betrayed, and I feel really, really angry. We have a president who tells us to move on from Epstein because it doesn't matter. Are you guys still talking about this? Seriously? And yet he still talks about the 2020 election fraud. He talks about.
Oh my God. I love that he goes, you don't shut the fuck up about 2020, but you want us to shut the fuck up about Jeffrey Epstein? That's crazy. That's way more important.
Hunter Biden laptop. He talks about all this stuff from 5-6 years ago, and he tells us to move on from the Epstein trial or the Epstein case. People like me will not stop talking about this. I feel so betrayed and so angry. This is not what I voted for. If we do not stand up for the children of this country, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing. And I tell you what, I've also lost a lot of respect for a lot of people that are prominent figures in this country because they are saying, you know what, this doesn't matter. Like,
I'm sorry, dude. I told you this shit ain't going away. I told you this is a break off point for many. This is a person who's calling the Glenn Beck show. Think about how in the tank you are, that you are literally a fan of Glenn Beck in the year 2025. He's not on Fox News anymore.
Here's one from Joe
With his blackboard and booming voice, Glenn Beck used his 5 p.m. show on Fox to build a case against big government.
Does the president really think we're this stupid?
But for Fox News, it might have been just too much.
This divorce was inevitable. Beck had proved too radioactive, even by the opinionated standards of Fox.
His actions became outrageous.
He's on a network that is barely held together by donors, big donors, at the Blaze Network. And this guy from South Dakota is calling in to his favorite content creator, Glenn Beck, on the verge of tears. He's on the verge of tears. He's like, dude, what the f? My entire worldview is falling apart, dude. This is straight up. Like, this dude is straight up at the tip of the spear. This is the Fedayeen of the Trump base. This is literally the most diehard Trump supporter you can arrive at. Like, he's not watching just regular Greg Gutfeld, you know? He's not just like sitting around watching Fox News. He's not even sitting around watching Tucker Carlson. He's watching Glenn Beck, the perhaps 15th most influential, or not even 25th most influential conservative on the independent media sphere.
Carrie Lake came out on Saturday. She's like, you know what? What really matters is election fraud and post-election fraud. It's like, you know what? The children of this country really, really matter. How can we just sweep them under the rug and not care? Move on, America. Move on.
Travis, thank you for calling. Let me ask you, is there anything that could be said that would make you go, okay, that's as good as it's going to get for here?
I want transparency, and
Bro, that question is so crazy because he's just like, what will it take for you to shut the fuck up? That's literally what Glenn is saying here. He's like, what will it take for you to move on, dude? Come on. Just give me the talking point. Give me the talking point so I can so I can figure out what you can hear so we can move on from this and never talk about it again.
I want justice. All them children, all those families, everything they went through, I don't want to know their names. I pray that God would be with them and give them some sort of peace if they could ever get it. I want transparency and I want justice.
Is there anything that anyone could produce to show you and have you go, okay, Epstein is dead.
Like, what? Please, bro. Travis, please. What will it take for you to shut the fuck up, dog?
Gladwell is in prison, and that's the only justice you're going to be able to get.
I want evidence. Quit telling us that, he killed.
He's like, you think I haven't heard this one before? Yeah, he's doing Pawn Stars. Best I can do is Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison and to shut the fuck up. That's the best you're going to get, big dog.
Himself, and we saw everything. We have the information, by the way. It doesn't exist. Show us the information. Make me believe. Help me believe that he killed himself. Help me believe that maybe you don't have any evidence against people. Then show us that stuff. I do not trust the government at all, and yet they expect me to take their word for it. I'm sorry, you lost your credibility a long time ago, government. You need to start gaining the trust of these American people back. And I really hope and pray that they can at least provide some sort of evidence.
How do you prove the negative, Travis? See, that's where I'm at. I think I'm right where you are. I'm beyond. I don't have a horse in this race. What I have is common sense. And what I have is maybe a bunch of people hyping this up for a very long time. But then I need somebody to say, hey, these people were hyping this for this reason, and here, let me show you how that was done. I want to believe. I want to believe in the good. So help me. But I don't know how you prove a negative. How do you prove there is?
I think if I am guys like this, I am deeply worried about where that anger and resentment will inevitably lead up to, because all of these guys got an arsenal of weapons. Maybe they're on not the best mindset either. Big dog, you can't come across like you are also refusing or, playing cover for the administration. I'm just saying, dude, not the most, not the best, most mentally sound individuals out here in the Glenn Beck audience. I mean, Glenn Beck himself was like insane. Literally. That's the reason why they had to fire him from Fox News, because he was like losing his goddamn mind. And also the crippling addiction, I think, to painkillers, if I'm not mistaken. Even worse, if you're the guy who they tricked into trusting they would be hell-bent on vengeance way more than they would be against those dumb socialists. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you're pissing off a lot of dudes that wear tinfoil hats with regular frequency, unironically, and have an arsenal of weapons. I mean, heck, 2 of the people that tried to kill the president were either former Trump voters or registered Republicans. You don't want those motherfuckers pissed off at you, dude.
There's no evidence.
I absolutely agree. If all these people like me are all upset about this Epstein client list and it's all been for naught all these years, then help me believe that, you know what, you've been wrong this entire time. And actually, there's some really good things out there. And if it's the opposite, show us that evidence too. We're all right now.
Yeah, Glenn, 4 months ago.
All right.
Who hid the Epstein list for years? We need full transparency.
So here's what Pam Bondi said.
It's pretty sick what that means.
Yeah. At a certain point, these guys in the independent media content sphere have to realize that, like, what these guys are doing under the auspices of independent media is actually no different than what Fox News does, and that it's no different than what MSNBC does for the Democratic Party. This is a breakoff point for a lot of people, and they've never actually had to come to terms with this reality, because the administration is very good at drip feeding treats to the masses like this. They're very good at like offering something here and there that is not actually disruptive to the pre-existing hierarchies of capital. Whereas you kind of start realizing all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, there are things that I want and these guys won't give it to me. And all of these supposedly independent voices online are actually defending the administration when the administration itself is actually not, is doing something that I don't want it to do. It's because they are grifters and they have always defended the establishment position, the Republican establishment position. And there are those who are not like in the MAGA loyalist payroll. That's why Andrew Schultz and them are like jumping ship, right? They were just hanger-ons and basically were simply pushing this narrative because it was like a rocket ship, just like those people who were like pro Andrew Tate when Andrew Tate was like popping off, right? They were just hitching their wagon to an existing popular movement that they saw was blowing up. However, there are the actual establishment loyalists, like the people who are loyal to the Republican Party through and through, the establishment of the Republican Party. People like Glenn Beck, people like Charlie Kirk. They know where their bread is buttered. They will always defend the admin. Charlie Kirk hitched his wagon to Donald Trump after being an anti-Trump Republican in the primaries, and he never looked back. And he was rewarded endlessly for it. A lot of people don't know this. Charlie Kirk, back in the day, used to go on Fox News and shit on Donald Trump. Very quickly swapped when he saw the writing on the wall and became a pro-Trump guy, and he's never shied away from that. Ben Shapiro was anti-Trump because he was like, these guys were the pro-Republican Party soldiers. Once they realized quickly that Trump was the Republican Party and would be the future of the Republican Party, they became pro-Trump because they're just Republican Party mercenaries. And for many in the audience, they never fully understood that these guys weren't actually independent voices at all and were simply doing propaganda at the behest of the Republicans. Anne, şu kapıyı kapatır mısın? Lütfen, çünkü orange oluyor kapı açık bıraktığın zaman benim burada. No, because the light is shining off the door. Thank you.
All we have to go on is the word and trust of the United States government, and they don't tell us anything. So this is what we found, and the documents we're going to give you are going to be, mostly redacted. But the information's there. We just can't show it to you. You got to help us out a little bit. There's a lot of good in this country, but you got to help us out a little bit.
Travis, I don't think anyone could have said it better than that. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Here's MegYn Kelly.
I believe Trump's in the Epstein files insofar as he was friends with Epstein for 15 years. He knew Epstein. And there are people who hate Trump who probably there's some scurrilous allegations in there. But nobody believes Trump had an affinity for the underage girl. That's just.
Trump literally, said his own underage at the time daughter was sexy, Ivanka.
By the way, your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall.
Trump literally also has, on the record, said Jeffrey Epstein likes him young, just like I do. So no, the idea that he doesn't have an affinity for underage girls or whatever is insane. He quite literally associated himself with Jeffrey Epstein on that affinity. Ridiculous.
Such bullshit. Maybe he was at some Epstein party. Trump says he never went to Epstein Island, and I believe that too. That would be something to extraordinarily lie about.
Oh my God, I just realized Trump was also tight with Mr. Bad Boy Records himself. Trump was also homies with the Diddler.
I love Diddy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
That's crazy. But here, let's hear how Joe Rogan manages this stuff. I suspect he's like jumping ship, right? He must be.
Yeah, people are going to be shocked.
Yeah.
Where?
Right.
Nothing.
Well, like,
zero.
My thing about the Diddy thing
provided to
is
CBS News.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it? Okay.
Oh! Bro, he definitely has an affinity for young girls. What the f*** do you mean? Didn't he used to go into the dressing rooms and at the beauty pageant too?
Donald Trump loves a beauty pageant. And by his own admission, he was no stranger backstage while owning parts of 3 different pageants for nearly 2 decades.
They're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
In 2001, Tasha Dixon was Miss Arizona, competing in the Miss USA pageant.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked changing into our bikinis.
Dixon was 18 at the time and says watching Trump storm into a dressing room was shocking.
Come on, man. Trump be like, the Epstein angle was the one I expected.
My thing about the Diddy thing, I don't really give a f. These people are they're of age. They're like 18 years old. And is it shitty what he's doing, trying to...
That's crazy that he's saying that he doesn't care about rape. Like, he doesn't care about when adults are raped or coerced to do sexual acts.
Why'd they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible shit? Why'd they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
What, are you talking about Epstein or Diddy?
Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah, she said it literally, I think, a week before you had the FBI director sitting here telling you there was nothing, right?
She said something about that there was like
Joe,
thousands of hours.
Yeah, Joe, remember when you had the FBI director on here? Speak on it, Joe. That was so disastrous. It was like that was a terrible way to start this Epstein saga. As soon as that started popping off, what is this? And then the Elon tweet dropping in the middle of it. Oh yeah.
Of tapes of people doing horrible crimes.
There is. And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
Cash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You don't believe it?
I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. No, of course. I
obviously,
understand.
he's saying what he has to say.
Right.
Mystery surrounds the Jeffrey Epstein files after Bondi claims tens of thousands of videos. Tens of thousands.
Bro, he said, what am I supposed to do? Push back. Don't forget that Joe Rogan pushed back on his lifelong friend, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, during COVID. Because she was literally talking about best practices and also vaccine efficacy. Like, what do you mean? You're not going to push back on the FBI director? He came on your show, big dog. What are you talking about?
There's got to be a hard drive.
There's got to be.
Sitting in Tel Aviv right now.
Yeah, that's... listen.
That's the other part of this, too. They asked...
He had like 100 cameras in that penthouse, in every single house.
Do you know his house is for sale in New York?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, both sides will use their little batch of evidence to support their idea and ignore the opposite, right? So like the girl we were just talking about, Virginia, she was literally on video saying that all this shit about Bill Clinton on the jet, going to the island, hanging out with Trump and all this stuff. And the right-wing people, like people I know, my parents and like older folks I know in Florida, will say, you know, she came out, thank you for exposing Bill Clinton for being a pedo and doing all this stuff. And Virginia Giuffre, after this happened, she's like, you guys didn't listen to the whole tape. She's like, I was telling you that Trump was at the penthouse 3 days a week and visiting him, but you guys don't want to hear that. And it's like, you know, it's just this weird thing. Like if you do the math, there's gotta be so many high level, powerful people that are somehow compromised. And do I think like Clinton and these guys are pedos? No, I don't think that at all. But
what?
If you were Jeffrey Epstein,
Dog, are you kidding me? Be for real, dude. Dude, if there's one guy you could absolutely point to, I mean, you could even say that about Trump too, but like, god damn, Bill Clinton, are we serious? If Bill Clinton's not a pedophile, then who is? I guess it's just an abstract concept that has no relevance in the real world, I guess. Like, what are we talking about, man? Bill Clinton not a pedophile, what?
I think it's super plausible to assume that he would try to trick them with like a girl who looks old, right? Who is possibly like on the borderline of being 18. And you say, oh yeah, this girl, she's 18, 19, 20, whatever. Meanwhile, she's like 17 and they had no idea and they have video footage. And in like a court of law, if I'm the judge, I'm going to let them, like, of course, they lied to him. And this is not like some young girl, obviously. But they lied. Yeah. But like,
bro, what is this argument, bro? Hey, yo, this motherfucker is crazy. What a bizarre way to dude, did conspiracy theorists lose their minds completely where they just like don't even do the normal conspiracy theories you would expect? What am I going to do? Push back, Joe? Yes, you push back when a person is lying to you.
In like the court of public opinion, you're never going to win in that case, right? Like if that comes out, you're
I mean, you're if you just go into the island to bang hookers. Like it's like they're of age. Mm-hmm. It's still like whatever he was doing, you preyed on people's desire for experiences and vice.
Yes.
And all these powerful people who, again, they can't just go call a hooker and the hooker goes, oh my God, I just blew Bill Gates. This is nuts. You know what I mean? Like, you can't trust them. So you have to trust someone who really has a lockdown organization. And they felt like he did.
Yeah.
And that's why they all hung out with him even after he got arrested. This is what's crazy.
That is crazy.
A lot of Bill Gates meetings with him were after he was prosecuted. And he got this little slap on the wrist and he got essentially home detainment, and I think he had to do like weekends at the jail. Like it was like great for underage sex for what's supposed to be a felony. The whole thing is crazy. And then when there's one reporter that really chased it down, I forget her name, but she really looked into it, and that's when they opened up the second case, the second trial.
Vicky Ward.
Vicky Ward. Was she from what paper? Vanity Fair. So she was responsible for because she was like, this is insane. Like, what's going on here? And then there was the sheriff that had arrested him, said that I was told he was intelligence. And
no, it was.
I mean, you got to think,
Brown.
if
Julie
a guy
Brown
like that
from
is
Miami Herald
running these kind of parties with all these rich and powerful people, how many different worldwide decisions can be manipulated because of these people and the compromises you have on them?
Right.
It's really a brilliant thing to do.
Yeah.
From an intelligence perspective.
Bro, this is the craziest way to cover the Jeffrey Epstein situation. What the are they just like bored and they ran out of takes? That was wild, man. I don't know. It's as close to an open and shut situation as you're gonna get with like a lot of understandable curiosity surrounding the parts that we do not have verifiable evidence for. And they still found a way to talk about it in the weirdest way possible, where he's like, well, you got to get into the mind of a pedophile, right? Motherfucker said he doesn't think Bill Clinton is a pedophile.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
you are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true.